Hello, and welcome to this live stream. So, basically, I just thought I'd just live stream to have a bit of fun, really. There's nothing really to it apart from that. Sorry, I got a bit of a cough. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much to the 1,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd really make it to that point, to be honest. So, I thought I'd just do this live stream to have a bit of fun, really. Nothing else more than that, really. Just have a bit of fun. And utilise some of the concepts we've looked at in some of the recent lessons. So more specifically about the common chord progression lesson, and I'm also going to be looking at a few things from the in the style of Noel Gallagher lesson. So I'm going to take some concepts behind that, and I'm just basically going to try and write a chord progression and maybe just have a jam around with it and make some music out of it. So first of all, let's have a look at the chord progression. So sat on the guitar lead. There we go. First of all, let's grab my guitar and make sure you can see the guitar as well. That's probably a good idea. Okay, so the chord progression in the 50s progression was a 1-6-4-5. So it's a C major to an A minor to a F major to a G major. So I'm essentially going to use that as my basis of a chord progression. I'm going to bang a capo on, let's say, I'm going to random, but I'll go second fret. So this actually now means rather than it being a C, I'm in the key of D. So it's a D major, A minor, F major, and G major. So I think that works quite well, actually. That should be alright. So I'm just going to play that around a few times, see if I can get something nice, a groove formed. It's a lovely sounding progression. I mean, that's the whole point of why I made the video about the 50s chord progression anyway, so I'm going to start with that. But I figured what I'd do is I'd make an 8-bar loop of a chord progression. So I'm going to have that, the 50s chord progression. Let's see what we can do with it. So I'm going to go C major, something like that. So what I'm doing there is, again, I haven't planned any of this, so I'm just making it up on top of my head. So C major to E major, A minor, so what I'm thinking of there and the way I'm thinking of this is, I'm just playing the 50s progression, but what I've done is I've stayed on the C major for longer and then I've gone to an E major. So if you have watched the video about these concepts that I'm going through, that is using the secondary dominant of A minor. So I'm going C major, doing a secondary dominant to an E major, which brings me really nicely to the A minor. And that's something that we looked at in the Sound Like Noel Gallagher, inside of Noel Gallagher thing. I think that works quite well. Now how about, just for the, again, making it just a bit more interesting for when I start soloing and making melodies over it. I think that is a great start. I don't want to add anything more really to that. I might make it into a major 7. To an E dominant 7, A minor 7, something like that. How about the second time I play it though? A minor. Now I know this is going to work, but I haven't done it before. So F major to F minor. And then back to the beginning. So again, that's another concept that I looked at in the play, like in the style of Noel Gallagher thing, where he used the minor 4 chord quite a bit. So essentially borrowing the chord from the key of D minor. We're just using that F minor chord to lead us back into the C. Now I think that's a really nice progression. I'm just going to play it through a few times just to make sure I actually do like the progression. Let me just check for my stream strength. That's fine. Yeah, do feel free to say hello if anyone is watching, and also you can in the chat, obviously, and you can ask any questions if you want to as well. Actually, that's fine with me. You can ask questions, I'll gladly answer them. It's just a bit of fun. There's no seriousness to this live stream, just me making a bit of noise. So the progression. That's a nice progression, is that? I think it works pretty well. So what I'm going to do now then is I'm actually going to build some music around it then. So hopefully now I should be able to share my Pro Tools session. So I'm a Pro Tools user to make my music and to record music. Now I'm not going to record any guitar, so I just want to have a bit of a, I just want to make this quite quickly. So I am using Pro Tools and I'm just going to make, oh, that's if it loads up. There we go. Just going to make some music around it. So let's start with some chords then. So I'm going to go onto this piano I've got set up. What sound have I got in here? Of course I need headphones, don't I? There we go. That'll do. Right, so I'm going to put some chords in first. So I said there that I had a capo on the 2nd fret, which meant I was actually in the key of D major. So I'm just going to change the key to the key of D major. So it was a 1, 6, 4, 5. But what I did is I went D major first. Then I went to it was a secondary dominant, wasn't it? So it was an F sharp major chord. That led me into the B minor chord. And then I went to, it was a G major. But this was a split bar, I believe. So a G major to A major. Let's just hear the chords on their own, make sure they work. Let's just turn off the screen. Here we go. I think that works really well. So, and jazz up these chords a little bit just to make them a bit more personality to them. So D major, I'm going to change into a D major 7. Now I played, obviously everything was in relation to the capo, so it looked like a C major, but it is a D major, so don't worry too much about that. F, which was played as an E major with the capo, and I made that into a dominant 7th chord, so that should sound nice. The A minor shape, which is actually a B minor chord, I did as a minor 7, so that should be nice. I might add in the 9th to it, because I love minor 9 chords, I think they sound great. So B minor 9, and then G major will keep the same, and then A major will keep the same. So let's see how the voicings sound. Okay, this is sounding alright to me. Now let's give us an actual piano part. So what style should we go for? Go for a ballad style, let's say. I'm going to keep this in 4/4 and a straight kind of feel, so let's see what this sounds like. I think that was great. I'm just going to keep that just for the sake. so it's simple. Let's loop this up a couple of times. Copy and paste. So I've got an 8-bar loop going on there with that now. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. I'm really sorry. Okay, looks all fine. Okay, so I'm now going to add a drum beat. So let's have a look. So I've got a drum kit set up. What kit have I got? It's kind of like a hip-hop style kit. That's from the hip-hop collection from Easy Keys. Tune Tracks Easy series of software. So let's have a look. First drum beat I've come to. I like that. That's alright, I'm going to keep that in. So that is actually already an 8-bar loop, which is good. Let's have a listen to it. And that sounds alright to me. Okay, so I'm going to put a quick bass line down now. Right, so it's weird. I have to record a nonsense note so it'll let me access the screen, but it's okay. So I'm just going to put root notes in first. Oh, now it's a bass. I want it to be much lower than that. There we go. So D, then it went to an F sharp. Then it went to B, I believe. Okay. Then it was split bars now, wasn't it? So it was a G to an A. Okay. Right, now it's the same progression again. Now, the one thing, so I'm going to come back to this. This is the basic progression with the secondary dominant thrown in. So let's have a quick listen to this as a basic raw track. I like that change. Okay, that works really well. Now, the only thing I haven't done there, which is what I want to come to next. So normally I would create, as I did when I picked up the guitar at the beginning, I would create the basic progression first and then I'd adapt things to add a bit of spice. But because I've done this kind of thing a million times before, I knew that I wanted to put the secondary dominant in before going to the B minor. So I've done that already, which is all fine. This just sounded good to me when I played it, so that's why I've done it. So that's fine. Now, one thing I did do before, when I was playing the progression, was I changed the 4 chord at the end, because it was a 1 secondary dominant to go into the 6, to go into the 4 to the 5. So he's just spiced up the 50s progression a bit. Now, what I did is I did a G major, which, again, because of the capo, it looked like an F chord, and then I went to an F minor shape, which was a G minor. So now I'm just going to change this chord to a G minor chord. Right, so now this progression should have the essence of what we did on the guitar at the beginning. So now all I'm going to do is just change that bass line. Oh, so this is the bass I'm using. It's just a free version of a bass plugin from Ample Bass. It sounds pretty nice. It's a decent enough bass sound. So now this last note on here shouldn't be the A. Now it should be still a G. So now we've got that sorted, we've got the bare bones of the progression. So let's have a listen to it on a loop. Drums over here. nice flavour to it. I'm not overly keen on the sound of the piano on this bit, so I'm just going to chop this. I'm going to change this piano. That'll do. Again, it's very simple. If I was making this as an actual track I want to release and sing over and things, I would put a bit more effort into the parts. But this will do the job, I think. So, can I bring up the piano screen? Sorry, just trying something here, that's all. Change the sound of the piano as well. That sounds pretty cool. Let's see how this bit sounds. It sounds much better to me, does that? Just change these levels around a bit. Okay, so I don't want it too loud because I want a bit of speak over it as well. So and play guitar over it in a minute as well. So that's fine. Okay. Okay, now. Keys. Okay, now I'm going to do this level on the bass in a minute. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually make the bass line a little bit more interesting. Sorry about this cough, I'm really sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to basically find the kick drum parts and just put the kicks and the bass together. So, boom. So that's on the and after 2 and the number 3, so now it should go. See, it matches the kick drum perfectly. And I think the drum beat does that all the way through, so I'm going to go through, I will check it as I go. That's nice. Might extend this one. There we go. This one, done. I like that. And then this one, actually the same beat. Yep, it's a simple enough beat. Here we go. Let's move this over a bit now. A bit quicker. Now this should be the exact same again. Works fine. I think that's okay. Double check. Dum, dum, dum. Cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the stream strength is okay still. So I do have a lot of problems with my when I do streams, so I hope it's okay. Now let's make the bass line a little bit more interesting still by adding in some passing notes and maybe some tones from the chords, so chord tones, which is something that I love playing with, which you'll notice when I pick up the guitar as well. So we've got D major 7, I believe it is, so I might actually use the major 3rd of the chord on this beat here to see how it sounds. So I might even make this first beat a bit shorter. Dum, dum, dum. I might do a little arpeggio here. Dum, dum, dum. So major 3rd of D, D, E, F sharp. So I'll start with the D, then go on to an F sharp. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. So C sharp. Let's just see how this sounds. This is the thing, is it's trial and error and just see if you like it. See, I think that's quite nice. It sounds a bit robotic because it is a MIDI bass, but I like the sound of that. Then I like to add passing notes every so often. So this chord is the secondary dominant. So we're on an F sharp. So let's go for the fifth. Fifth's always nice. So F sharp, G, G sharp. Oh, sorry, G, A, B, C. So it's the C sharp we're going to go for. And that should fall into this note quite nicely, I think. I like that. I might make it longer, in fact, because I quite like that. I'm going to keep that bar the same. Dun, dun. I'm going to add a 3-note thing here, maybe, like this, but I'll choose what note. So what chord are we on? Oh god, what was it? It was an A, wasn't it? An A major. So we seem to be using the C sharp a lot, so let's try the C sharp. The fifth of A is an E, so let's see that. Then I might do an octave of that A and just see how that sounds. So nice little run up. Right, and then this first bar of this next group of 4, same. Okay, make these first notes a bit short. Dum, dum. So here I'm just gonna have a 2-note little walk up, kind of an idea. So what chord when we're on the F sharp 7 again. So how about using the 7th? So yeah, so that'll be a G sharp. So let's see if the G sharp works quite well. Dum. I quite like it going. I was going to change this note then to go up to rising, so let's give it a try. Third it down. Now, a little thing that I like to do when I'm playing with these altered sounds, so when I've changed, not altered chords, sorry, but when I alter a chord so it's using something a bit different, so here we use the minor 4 chord, I like to highlight that in different instruments, the note that's changed, so it really emphasizes it. So the note that's changed on here is the C sharp has changed to a C sharp. I'm on a... No, sorry, so I was thinking it was an A major would change, but it's not, it's a G major. So we need to change the B in G major to a B flat to make it B minor. So what I'm going to do here then, I'm going to find out a nice place where I can put a note. So I put one here and then one here. So this I'm going to change to a B flat. And let's see how that sounds. Now the 5th is always a good thing to do, so the 5th is going to be the D note. So let's see how that sounds. So hopefully that has made a bit more of an interesting bit. Let's have a listen. Seems to be working fine. So what I also like to do is to just add, I like to fiddle around with the bass in particular, especially when I'm using MIDI basses rather than recording the bass with my bass. Is I like to fiddle around with the quantize and the velocities of the notes. Now I'm not going to change the quantize because it can be, you want to make it random and sometimes it doesn't work right. So I'm going to change the velocity, so how hard, and I'm going to change the dynamics a little bit. It's still going to sound very on the beat, but I'm going to change the dynamics a little bit. So I'm going to randomize this by about 20%. Now you should see these lines should change a bit. There we go. So maybe I'll do it a few times, just see what comes out. But I might make the quantize a bit more, so the velocity a little bit more random. There we go. So now all of the hits on the bass are at random velocities, which makes the bass line sound a little bit more human, I suppose. But let's have a listen. Sorry, did I not have Pro Tools session on the screen then the entire time that I've been making this track? Sorry, I am very new to this live streaming thing, but now it's on the screen. I'm so sorry. If it was what I think had happened there, I just had a plain white screen on the screen for you to see, and I am sorry about that. So let me just play the track again. Stupid. Well, so now we've got, let's see if I can open up all these things we've got going on in this track we've just made. So there's the keyboard part. There's the drum part. And here's the bass line. I think it sounds pretty nice, to be honest. Okay, so let's... If that what happened, I'm really sorry about that, because that was the entire process of me making this track, and hopefully I didn't just have it on a blank screen so you couldn't see it. But either way, this is just a bit of a laugh for me, so I do hope this is streaming properly. I've got a feeling it might be a bit funny. It's okay. Right, so I'm now going to bring back to the screen. So it all started off with a basic chord progression, which started off as the 50s progression with a capo at the second fret, obviously. Let's change the camera a little bit. Added a secondary dominant to go into the B minor, which looks like an A minor here. So I added that E major or E7 sound into the A minor. Then it went to the F, G. Obviously, in relation to capital, that is G to A. And we did it again. And then now I went to this F, A minor still. I did this F shape, which is actually a G, but I changed it to a G minor. So that's utilising a few different tricks that we've gone through recently. So then from that, I put that together in a track. And I'm going to put the track on for you again now so you can hear it. And I'm going to play the guitar part along with it just to make sure it works. right this time. So, I'm going to keep the track going whilst I bring the screen back. So, when I have a track going like this, I tend to now have a bit of a noodle and see if there's parts here that I like. So, I'm just going to give myself a half decent guitar sound. I will stop the track for this for just a second. Right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just going to change the guitar sound. So the moment I've got this kind of spring clean kind of sound, I'm going to change it to a bluesy style tone. And I quite like this winter blues. I think there's a bit of a chorus on it. So now it'll sound like this. More of a rock sound. I want to add, I have this delay and reverb set up, and I like to put it on the guitar as well. So let's see how that sounds. That's all right. Might be a bit louder. So I'm going to play the track. Now the key of this is D major or B minor, depends how you want to look at it really, in what context. Now when it comes to writing melodies or guitar solos, that kind of thing, I tend to noodle around for a bit first. Just have a noodle and see if I can just have a bit of fun and see if the progression inspires me. So I am just going to have a little bit of a noodle for a second and see if I can find any licks that I like that work with it. Just a noodle and just have some fun and make sure you do enjoy it. So let me change the screen back to me on guitar. See, I can tell I like this already to play over. Okay, so I tell this track is inspiring me to play. I'm in the groove, I can play in it, it's okay. I do believe my audio is going, but it doesn't matter, it's okay. I'm just playing some music, having a bit of fun, and it happens that it is live. Right. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I can create some melodies. And the first place I start with this, you can start in it, and I do start in different places every time, but I'm going to find chord tones that I like the sound of. So, over this D major chord, I'm playing a lot around this kind of... Let's sort this stream out for a second. I do think this is oops. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm just gonna see if I can sort something out on this stream, because I think my settings are reducing quality. See if that helps at all. Try change this as well to fast. Okay, I want to see if that is any better at all. Hopefully the audio will be a little bit better now, because I do think I've been lagging and glitching out. Don't matter, no one's watching anyway, are they? So here we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'll bring this screen back up again. Now, finding chord tones that apply a bit of colour to the playing. Now, when I was noodling around there, is anything that anything that I've added, like the minor 4 and the secondary dominant, I know that this note here, this B flat kind of note, is the note that is being highlighted as something that's changed in this progression. So I want to try just playing over it again, and then when it comes to the second dominant, before going into the, I'm going to highlight that note, and same with that G minor chord when it does the where it does that bit. That note is going to sound really nice. See? See, that note really stands out. It sounds really good. So I'm going to try to make something around that, and when I highlight that note, it sounds like I'm really playing with the music rather than playing over it. Now I also, just when I'm noodling around, I try and find notes that work throughout the chord progression. So I'm just going to noodle again, and I'm going to really get used to landing on those notes on those two chords. D major chord has a major 7, so I can play the D. So this note, so I've noticed that this is a good common tone. This note here, this C sharp. So with the D major chord, I've got all these notes I can play over. You see, and that will now, so I could start off this solo, and I think I might do. And then into, now that's going to be a really nice phrase of this first part. See, that sounds really cool. I really like the sound of that. It seems to be highlighting the chords quite well. See, there I added in this B note. So it was the major 3rd of D. I played the 5th of D. I played this B, which is a nice passing note, leading me into the major 7th of D, and that leads me into this, I suppose we can call it B flat, which is the highlighted tone from this secondary dominant. really highlights that tone. So I think it's a good start to the solo. Something like that. Now on this B minor chord, it's a minor ninth, so because the ninth is what's adding that character to the chord, that note there, this C sharp, I want to highlight that note. So now my phrase is going to be something along the lines of, and then back to that note. I might add some embellishments, some passing notes, but that's the general idea. You see, I'm getting a feel for it, and I think it sounds like I'm really playing with the chord progression. So now I'm onto this G chord next. So there's I play a lot with the cage system, and I like this. There's a G chord shape around here. Might change screen back again. The audio has stopped lagging, hasn't it? So hopefully it should be a bit better now. So yeah, back to me. So hopefully now you can. Well, I think you could probably see it okay before. Wait. So I'm not really good at getting to grips with all this stuff for live streaming, am I? So. Now that one is the G note, which is the root. Now to me, it sounds a bit too obvious. I don't necessarily always like to land on root notes, but that's just me. It's a preference thing. So on this one, and plus also you don't always have to stick to chord tones. It just sounds nice in my opinion. So let's see what that note works. So I've got this first part solved. Let's see what note I can use. And then I am going to go to the root on the A. That seems to work. So I'm going to use this note here, this B, which is the third of G, G major. It's my target for this G major chord. So now we've got. Okay, so I might vary the lyric now on the second time of playing the F sharp, rather than using the B flat note. So I want to make sure this isn't lagging like anything. So I do feel like the quality went again a bit then. Push this down a bit more. Hopefully that'll be better. Still hear it. Either way, okay. So now over this F sharp, this F sharp, I might play. What's the third? That's that flat again. I'm aware. I'm sorry. Where's the F sharp note? This one. I'm in the inside. I'm staying with the tones of the chords a bit more. So the F sharp works really well over that F sharp dominant 7 chord. I was gonna go back to that ninth for the minor ninth of the B, but I decided to actually just walk up to the B, make it more obvious. Now I'm on the G chord. And I really want to highlight this G minor note, this B flat note again, so I might use the B flat note again. But now I've got a general shape of some ideas of chord tones. I'm just going to noodle around and see if I can find what I'm looking for articulation-wise. Okay, so what I'm noodling around with now is I've got a general idea of notes that I know are going to work. I'm only staying in this position of the neck at the moment. I can, if I was developing this to a proper solo, I would experiment and I'd expand. But at the moment, I'm going to use this as my target notes, and I've now got some target notes. I've got some melodic ideas that I know are working. What I would tend to do now is find some form of melody that I know vocally would work. So what I mean by that is, it's a bit of a strange concept, but what I like to do is have a sing. I'm not a good singer. If you saw my last video about the common chord progression on the 50s thing, I'm not a good singer. But now I would hum something and I would try and find a hook that I can try and find on the guitar, but I don't play the guitar to find it. So let's see if I can do it. It needs to be catchy. Cheesy is good. around with the theme. So what I'm essentially doing here is I'm finding a theme. I want to find a theme that works for the solo. So I've got tons of ideas. And when it comes to improvising in particular, this is the way I like to think of things. So I can get a bunch of ideas and work with them. So let's put the track back on, and I'm going to use this theme, and I'm going to use some of the target notes I came up with to see if it works. So let me... I'll keep it on this screen for now. Okay. Okay, so you get the idea. So already as an improvisational thing, this is coming together now quite well. I think there's something there. I think it's working really nicely. So what I've now got to work with, so that's a quick recap of what I've done. So I made the chord progression using the ideas from the common chord progressions 1950s doo-wop kind of progression. Then I took that progression and I added some concepts that I found from the playing like Noel Gallagher lesson, where we use the secondary dominant and we use the minor 4 chord. Made a chord progression out of it, and we made this track in Pro Tools. Just a basic little thing to mess around with. And then we went through some different concepts. So first of all, I went through finding target notes. So, well, actually, first of all, I just noodled and I played around to make sure I was inspired by it. Then I went through target notes and found little melody ideas. So I think the original melody I started to work with was thinking of this D major. And land on that B flat, so it worked with the secondary dominant that we added. And we used the minor 9th. For the B minor, so we found that target note. That was what gave that B minor the colour tone. Then again, just found the right notes that matched the chords that I wanted to land on. And then the G and the G minor needed to have that note. And then we came up with a theme, a hook from singing, which is something like. So now I'm starting to find something that I like in improvising with, and I could easily write a solo around this, but when I start to write solos, I do tend to noodle around until I find things that work. So I'm enjoying noodling around this. Now, when I do improvise or make up stuff or jam on the spot or whatever, I do think we all have a tendency to get carried away and just play and noodle all the time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just leave it there, but I'm going to just noodle around for the next 5-10 minutes or whatever, as long as I can be bothered to play with. And I'm going to try and let my playing have a bit of space and let it breathe a bit more. Well, the only thing I didn't mention there is one thing that I would start to try and add is some licks and some chops. So, for example, with this, I might do something like... I don't think you need too many licks and chops. You know, people get a bit bogged down with trying to put in all the sweet chicken, people get bogged down with trying to put all the shreddy stuff in. Sorry, wrong place. I don't think there's any point in overloading it because the melody is the important thing for me. But it's always good to have some form of a chop or a lick or. So that's what I might do now when I'm playing and improvising now. I might add in a couple of licks as well, but I'm really trying to give it a little space. So that's a bit of fun. someone, put the guitar down. As I said before, if anyone has any questions about anything at all, please feel free to ask. Sorry, 1 second. So when it comes to the chord progressions we looked at there and the concepts, they all came from these two videos, the Noel Gallagher one here and the Noel Gallagher one, which was here, and the common chord progression one, which is here. Which, by the way, my lovely dog made a lovely cameo in this video too. Someone's disliked it. Madheads. Crazy. How dare you dislike it? Look, there he is. There he is. My lovely dog. Okay. That's enough of me. So, thanks very much for watching, if anyone has watched. I think there's been... Oh, there's 2 people on. There we go. The audience has doubled. Okay, alright. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See you later.